afternoon, everyone from the city of Halifax here in Nova Scotia, Canada. I would like to thank you for taking out time to attend the webinar today. And we are very, very confident that this is going to be very informative. And I hope you learn a thing or two from the event today. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic, or a new development. We have CELPIP in Nigeria. For as many people that are looking to immigrate to Canada and are looking to take language proficiency tests, we know that all along in Nigeria, we've had only the IELTS, but we are very, very proud to let everyone know that we have an alternative to the IELTS currently in Nigeria, and that will be CELPIP. So are you looking to immigrate to Canada and need to demonstrate English language proficiency? You bet, look no further. CELPIP is here to help you out. And I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Wisdom Akpakige. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I am the principal consultant at Dow Immigration Consulting Services Limited here in Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. I am duly registered with the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants here in Canada, which would be the regulatory body for those that are practicing consultancy in immigration here in Canada. I'm also a member of the Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultants, which is CELPIP here in Canada. I am also a licensed foreign worker recruiter in the provinces of Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan. Just in case we need any of that information, feel very free to reach out to us, and we will display our contact before the end of the meeting. Now we have a very, very important guest in our midst today. His name is Patrick Macaron, and he's stakeholder relations specialist with he's stakeholder relations specialist under the business development unit in Prometric, and he's gonna be sharing many things with us today about CELPIP. And for those of us that would like to take the test in Nigeria, he's gonna tell you all you need to know about the test and how to register for the test and any other information that he would have for us today. We would only request that if you have questions, try to put your questions in the chat box. Would allow Patrick to run through his presentation today. And after his presentation, we're going to take as many questions as time would permit. And I'm very, very sure Patrick will be glad to answer all of your questions today. So without further ado, I'm going to make welcome Patrick Macaron to take the floor. Patrick, it's all over to you.
All right, thanks, Wisdom, and I hope everybody's enjoying the weekend so far. I'm very happy to be here and collaborating with Dow Immigration and Wisdom. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to talk about another English testing option that is now available in Nigeria to prove your English for Canadian immigration purposes. So the name of the test is CELPIP. So it is an acronym, and it stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. So it is a Canadian English test, and yeah, we're very happy to be now in Nigeria so that people there have another option. Yeah, we're very happy to be collaborating with Dow Immigration Consulting Services on this webinar, and we're happy to provide free information to all of you so that you can learn more about the test and ultimately make the choice that's right for you for your English testing. So basically you can take CELPIP worldwide. So this is the current snapshot of countries where you can take the CELPIP test in. So in the last 2 months, we did open in Nigeria as well as UK in London, England, and Australia. And we are always looking to expand further. So keep checking back on our social media channels like Instagram and the website. For news of new test centers opening. So maybe, more cities in Nigeria or different parts of Africa. We will be posting that on our social media channels as soon as we open any more testing locations. So this is in Canada. So we do have a lot of test centers in Canada. So you can see all of the major cities for each province that we offer CELPIP testing in. So we are very well covered in Canada. So if you are currently in Canada, you do have a lot of test centers to take CELPIP at. Specifically for Lagos, Nigeria. So our first test center is in Lagos on Victoria Island. So we just opened that about 2 weeks ago. And there is a specific website link that you can visit, which is celpip.ca/Nigeria, if you want to have all of the available test sittings that you can register for. So you do have to register on the website, not by going to the test center, but this is giving you an idea of the location of the test center. And it also lists at the bottom there the price. So it gives you the Canadian amount of the price and the Naira price. So it's 77,836 Naira. So I believe that's slightly cheaper than some other English tests there. So yeah, that's the location. You can visit the link there for more information and to register for a test in Nigeria. So just some common features of the test that make it different from other English tests. So CELPIP is Canadian, so the test uses Canadian English. So when you're doing the listening section, you're going to be listening to a Canadian accent. And the full test uses North American English, so English found in both the US and Canada. The test is computer delivered, so there's no paper format of the test, but you do have to go to a test center to take the test on a computer. So as of right now, it cannot be taken from home. You do have to go to a test center to take it on a computer. The results come out in 4 to 5 days after your test. So you'll get your listening, reading, writing, and speaking scores in only 4 to 5 days after the test. CELPIP is one of 2 options that you can take for Canadian immigration. So it is the only Canadian English test out of the 2 options. As well, you can actually download your results from the CELPIP website onto your computer as a PDF file, and then you can submit your scores online to the Government of Canada for immigration or citizenship. So right now, we are not mailing the physical copies of score reports. So you will have to visit the CELPIP website, sign into your account, and then download the results, the score report onto your computer, and you could submit it online. So that'll be a little bit more convenient for many of you because you won't have to wait for the score report to arrive in the mail, which, you know, sometimes it doesn't go to the right address and, you know, you have to wait longer. So you could just download them online and submit them online. We do have a lot of free study products. So there is tons of free content. So you might not have to spend more money on preparation because we do have a lot of free resources. So there are 2 types of CELPIP tests. So I'm really going to focus on only one today. So that is the CELPIP general test. That has the 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The total test time is 3 hours, but you can finish the test early. So you can finish the test in 2 hours if you're quicker, and then you can just get up and leave the test center. The price is $280 plus tax in Canada, but it does vary depending on the country you're taking it in. So in Nigeria, it's $235 Canadian, so it's a bit cheaper. And that is the breakdown. So basically, you have listening, then reading, then writing, and then speaking at the end. The test at the bottom is if you're already in Canada as a permanent resident and you need to take an English test for citizenship. Then we have a special CELPIP test called the CELPIP General LS, standing for Listening and Speaking Only Test. So that test does not have reading and writing, because if you're already a permanent resident in Canada and you need to take an English test for citizenship, you only have to prove your listening and speaking skills to the government. So the government doesn't look at your reading and writing. So, but the test for Canadian immigration, just to recap, is the CELPIP general test at the top, which covers the 4 skills. So that's the one that you would need to take in Nigeria to come to Canada. So the CELPIP scoring follows the Canadian language benchmark levels, or the CLB levels, that the government of Canada uses. So when you're applying for Canadian immigration, they are going to require you to meet a CLB level in each section: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So CELPIP levels are fully equal to CLB levels. That way there's no confusion on what level you need to obtain in the test. So if you need to meet a CLB level 7 in CELPIP, that means that you need to get a CELPIP level 7 or higher. So they're fully equal. That way there's no confusion. Basically, it goes from 0 or M for minimal proficiency to 12. So 12 is like the perfect score you can get in each section. So there is no overall level. You'll be given a specific CLB level in each section. So 1 for listening, 1 for reading, 1 for writing, 1 for speaking. So that's kind of how it works. And you'll have to find out from an immigration professional such as Wisdom what level you have to meet in your test for your application. Okay, this is showing you the CELPIP website. So it is very user-friendly. It's easy to find a test date. It does have a search toolbar where you can search by, country, region, city, and then you do your search and it will give you your search results. So any test sitting that has the green available sticker, you can register for that. That means that there is space available for you to register. This is showing you how the online test registration process looks. So this is what it looks like. And once again, you have to register and pay online for your test. You can't go to the test center to register. So you do have to do it on the CELPIP website. And then when you're registering online, you're going to have to register with a valid identification document. So typically that would be your passport from your home country, so Nigeria. So you have to make sure that the passport is valid and not expired. And then you have to key in the information there. So the document number, the expiry date. When you're typing your name, you have to make sure that your name exactly matches as it is on your passport. So just make sure you don't make any mistakes, because it takes time for our customer service team to fix it. And you want to make sure that you're all set for test day. So one thing to note is whichever ID you register with, which most likely will be your passport, you have to bring the same ID on test day. So you have to bring your passport with you on test day, and it has to be the original, not a photocopy, not an expired passport. It has to be the official valid passport that you bring on test day. If you don't bring that, then you could end up missing the test and losing the money. So it's very serious. So just make sure you bring the ID that you register with to the test center on test day. Speaking of those kind of instructions, so once you've successfully paid for your test, you will receive a test confirmation email. So this confirms that the payment went through, you are guaranteed a spot in the test room. And this does list the instructions. So please read this email over carefully, because it will tell you what to bring, how early you have to arrive at the test center. It will sometimes provide like parking information about your test center, just so that you know ahead of time. So you do have to arrive at the test center at least 45 minutes before the start of the test. So if you register for a test at 2, what that means is that at 2 p.m., everybody's ready to start their test. So they're already seated, they've already checked in, things like that. So you do have to arrive 45 minutes or earlier before the time that you've registered for. If you come right at the time you registered for, you likely won't be allowed into the test room, because everybody would be seated focusing on their test. So we wouldn't want there to be a distraction. So and you could lose the money. So really make sure that you're there quickly, early, at least 45 minutes before the test, because you have to check in, put away your belongings. You'll be assigned a seat. You'll have to test your equipment to make sure that it's functioning properly before your test. So all that has to be done before the test starts. So just make sure you're there early, and then you'll be totally fine. Now I'm just going to briefly cover the 4 different sections of the test. So the first section you'll encounter is listening. So the test center provides all the equipment that you need to take the test. So you're going to have your own headset, which the test center will give to you. And you'll be listening to different audio passages in the headset. So there's 6 different passages or clips. You will only get 1 chance to hear each clip, and you will not know what the questions are until you finish listening to a clip. So you will have note paper and a pen or pencil. So the listening section is a great time to take notes, because you won't know what the questions are until you finish the conversation. So that, yeah, it's a really good time to take notes. The answering is multiple choice. So you've listened to an audio clip, and then you have to choose 1 out of 4 answer choices. So there are about 38 multiple choice questions in total in listening. So you will get a listening score depending on how many multiple choice questions you answered correctly out of the total number. So that's kind of how it works. Yeah, and then as time goes on, the audio clips and the questions get gradually more difficult as you go through the listening section. So you might start with like a level 2 clip and question, and then at the end of the listening, you might be answering like a level 10 question. So it does get gradually harder as you go through the listening section. You don't lose marks for guessing wrong. So just make sure that you've selected an answer for every question, because you don't lose marks for guessing wrong. So it's better to pick something than to just leave a question blank because you don't know the answer or you're running out of time. So if you are running out of time, just pick something for every question, and it'll give you the best chance at getting the highest possible score. The reading section is the second section you will encounter. So it is also multiple choice, but the difference is that you will have the reading passages on the left and the questions on the right. So you get them at the same time. So you can kind of consult back and forth between the reading and the questions. So in this particular section, try not to spend too much time reading and understanding every detail in the reading paragraphs. Just kind of skim at the beginning, briefly skim over it, just to get like the general topic and idea of what the reading is about. And then just start trying to answer questions one by one. So for example, if question number 1 is about, vacation, then what you want to do is you want to skim and scan over the reading to look for keywords that relate to vacation. So maybe like a beach or a trip, or resort, or, Cuba, things like that. So just look for keywords in the reading that relate to the question you're trying to answer, and that will help you to more quickly answer the questions, rather than trying to just read and memorize the entire reading passage. So with CELPIP, you can either wait for time to expire in a section and it will automatically carry you to the next section, or you can just click the blue next button if you've already answered all the questions on that screen and you want to move on to the next section ahead of time. So you can click the blue next button, which you can see there. Keep in mind, you can't go back. So once you've advanced, you can't go back in CELPIP to change anything. So that's just something to note. And the reading section has about 38 questions in total, the same as listening. So that's the reading section. Writing is the third section you will encounter. So writing is a little bit different. It is typing, obviously, because it's on a computer. Writing is about 1 hour long, and you're given 2 questions. So you're given about almost a half an hour to complete each question. Task number 1 is going to be writing an email. So I'm sure most of you know how to format an email, dear so-and-so, and then the body of the email, and then the ending salutation. So basically, there's two sections. Writing an email is going to be task number 1. So you have to interpret what the situation is and then decide whether you're going to use like very formal English or semi-formal or informal English. So you want to make it sound real and authentic. So, you know, if you're being asked to write an email to government, then you're going to want it to sound very authentic. So you're going to want to use very formal English. If you're being asked to write an email to a friend, then you're going to want to use a little bit more informal English. So, you know, just interpret the situation and decide, you know, what would the real situation be in terms of using formal or informal English. So with the writing section, you do have to keep each response within a word count range. So a minimum of 150 words and no more than 200 words. So you do want to stay within that range with your response so that you don't lose marks. So given that CELPIP is a computer test, it has an automatic word counter. So as you're typing, it will tell you how many words you've already typed. So you won't have to count to make sure that you're within the requirement. Another great thing about the writing section on CELPIP is that you have common editing tools. So you have cut, copy, and paste if you want to move your sentences or paragraphs around. And you also have spell check. So if you misspell a word on the real CELPIP writing test, the system will underline it, the same as it would on Microsoft Word. And then you can right click on the misspelled word and it will give you suggestions. So the real test does have spell check. So it's very hard to lose marks for spelling on the CELPIP writing section. So that's that. Task number 2, you're going to be presented with 2 options and you have to pick one or the other and explain why you think option A is better than option B or vice versa. So as an example, the question might be, you know, you live in a small town and your town is deciding whether to build a shopping mall or develop a park. Which one do you think is better and why? So it's just like a general question. There's no wrong answer. You just pick a side and you support it with ideas, examples, and opinions. So that's kind of what task number 1 and task number 2 are like in the writing section. And now we will go to the final speaking section. So speaking is a little bit different with CELPIP than with other English proficiency tests. It's not a live speaking interview. So you're going to be following the instructions on the computer screen and then providing responses. So you're going to have a headset with a microphone and you're going to be following the instructions on the screen and then providing responses into the headset microphone. So those responses will be recorded and then listened to and evaluated at a later date by real speaking examiners. So you won't have to worry about, you know, making eye contact with the examiner. You won't have to worry about your body language because you're just going to be providing recordings and then somebody will listen to it later and grade you. So that might eliminate some face-to-face anxiety that you would have in like an actual interview. So this is the breakdown of speaking. So you're given 8 different tasks to provide responses on. You will be given preparation time, so 30 to 60 seconds of preparation time, where you can see the topic for each task in the speaking section. So you will be given that time to prepare your answer, and then it will move you into the official recording time where you give your official response. So CELPIP is a general test. So the content and the topics are always going to be general everyday life topics. So, you know, just keep that in mind. As you can see here, task number 1, giving advice. Maybe it's, you know, giving advice to a friend or family member on where to go for vacation. Talking about a personal experience. Maybe it was like, you know, the best time that you had with a friend. Was it going to a soccer game? Was it, you know, going to a party? So it's always going to be general everyday life topics. Task number 3 is describing a scene, which is a picture. So this is an example of task number 3, where you're going to be given a picture and you have to spend about 60 seconds describing what you see in the picture. So with this particular exercise, you want to make sure, or you want to pretend that the person you're describing the picture to can't see the picture. So maybe start with like an introduction of what you're looking at, and then you can start describing specific things that are happening in the picture. So first give an introduction and then talk about what's going on in the picture. So that's just basically gives you a general idea of the speaking section. Try to use a wide range of vocabulary. If you're given 60 seconds to speak, use the full amount of time. Don't answer the question in 10 seconds, because then we won't know what the extent of your speaking ability is. So, stay on topic, but use the full amount of time and give a full response. You be very descriptive. You could say, the boy in the blue shirt is throwing a paper airplane. There are 2 students at the front of the class that are writing on the blackboard. You could also use emotion, which adds another element to your description. Like, the girl in the green shirt seems to be having a lot of fun. So that's an emotion. She's making silly faces. So that will kind of help you get extra marks in this particular section where you're describing a picture. If you want to learn more about the CELPIP test, if you're deciding whether this test is the right test for you, take the free sample test, which is on celpip.ca/free. There's two free sample tests. They are the same exact format as the real test. So that will give you a really good idea of how the test feels. How comfortable do you feel taking it? What's the timing like? What are the questions like? How am I expected to answer the questions? So things like that. And the sample test gives you approximate scores in listening and reading. So you can see roughly what level you're at in listening and reading based on your performance in the sample test. So it is a really good starting point for your preparation, because it will get you familiar with how the CELPIP test is. And then you can see what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, if you feel it was easy, if you feel it was difficult, things like that. So that's a good starting point. We also have weekly live webinars that we run on the website, just like this. So they're actually Zoom webinars, but you have to register on the website, which is celpip.ca/webinars. And we have webinars that give you an overview of the test. And then we have webinars that focus on specific components of the test. So the listening pro, the writing pro, the reading pro. And these are 2 hours long and they're totally free. So lots of good content there to help you prepare. They're led by CELPIP instructors that are, they have a teaching background, and they go into, they will show you sample responses and why did this sample response get this grade and why did this other sample response get a higher grade. So they really analyze a lot of things and give you really useful tips and strategies to do well on each section. So it is free. If you're not able to make the live session, we do have a YouTube channel which has recordings of all these webinars. So you can watch them on demand whenever you have time. So this is the YouTube link at the bottom there. So it's youtube.com/CELPIP official. So there's tons of video content on there to help you understand the CELPIP test and to get ready and to prepare for it. We also have a CELPIP Live, which is I think it's 2 Tuesdays a month, and we stream it off of the YouTube channel, and it's really fun. It's interactive. It's led by my colleague, Ashwati, and she normally has a special guest on. So it might be, an immigration professional, might be, like an English instructor. So things that are useful to eventually coming to Canada. So it is fun and interactive, and you can, chat and interact with the hosts. And they do some fun games and also give you information on the CELPIP test. So it is a lot of fun. I'd recommend you to check it out. And it is on the YouTube channel. And it will post on the channel when the next one is, but I think it's 2 Tuesdays a month. We have lots of study tips on the website and the YouTube channel. So there are video study tips, written study tips, so many different resources there. This is a great tool. It's on the CELPIP website. So you can actually play a sample level 12 speaking response, so a perfect response. And then for the same question, you can play a level 11 response and a level 10 and a level 9. So you can see the differences between, a good response and a great response for the same question. And it also gives you the analyses of why one answer was received a higher score than the other one. And we have the same tool for writing, where you can look at what is a perfect level 12 writing answer. And then for the same question, what's a level 5 CELPIP writing answer? So this will help you to learn what the expectation is and what might be needed to get a higher score in that section. And then you can also download some of these rubrics as a PDF as well onto your computer. So that is actually on the CELPIP website. So it's there's a part of the website called Score Comparison Chart, and that's where you can access this great resource. Excuse me. So you also get another free resource when you when you register for a test. So after you've paid for a test, you will get an additional online study program put into your account, which is CELPIP Accelerate Starter. And it has a collection of resources. It has videos you can watch. It quizzes you on what you learned in the videos. It has practice questions that you can attempt. So it is a good product. It's online, and you get it for free once you've paid for a test in your account. If you have exhausted all of the free resources that we have and you still want more preparation, you want to take more practice tests, we do have practice test sets you can purchase on the online store. So each set has 2 practice tests inside of it. So you can purchase, I think we have like 10 sets, and you can, keep taking the test over and over again with different questions to get lots of good practice. And they do provide listening and reading scores based on your performance. We also have study guides as well, which are, I think we have them in ebook format now, given the pandemic situation. So they are electronic as well, so you can access them on your computer. And we also release a CELPIP podcast every week. So we talk about different topics, which are very useful to you to improve your listening skills. We give important CELPIP information in the podcast. Some of the topics have been like good movies to watch that incorporate English, good video games to play that incorporate English. We talk about test content. So we release one every week. So, great resource to check out. It is free. And I know a lot of people now are using podcasts and listening to them. They're pretty popular now. So we do have our own podcast, which you can check out. And it's another great resource to study. With regards to COVID, so you still have to bring your own mask and wear it when you're testing. We are monitoring the national requirements and international requirements every day. But as of right now, you still have to wear your mask when you take a CELPIP test. So that does include speaking. But don't worry, we've tested wearing your mask and providing speaking responses, and it does not impact how clear your responses are. So you will have to keep your mask on throughout the entire testing process. And you are encouraged to bring your own, because the test center typically doesn't have too many and doesn't carry masks. So please bring your own mask, and you will have to wear it all throughout the test. Questions, comments? That wraps up my presentation. So, and I have my contact information here as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. It was great. I learned a lot personally about the test, and I believe that will be the case with many people in the webinar. And I would like to thank everyone that has taken time to attend the webinar today, especially Patrick. Patrick, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate the fact that you took time out of your very busy schedule to provide us with this very useful information about the CELPIP test. And also that it's being administered right now in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your time. We'd also like to thank everyone that has connected from the various parts of the world. Thank you for your time, and we truly hope that you've learned a theme or two from today's information session. If you have questions or you need further guidance or anything, feel very free to reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.